Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings. So I realized that I posted about the model call and I didn't share anything with you about a typical day. A couple of people asked, what is a model call? What is a casting call? What are you talking about? So I wanted to elaborate and tell what that was. And those who do not know at all and don't even know the first thing of modeling, but they want to get into it, or they're curious of what I'm doing. Or you'll see something, you're scrolling on one of your social media pages, and it'll come up, model call or casting call, that anybody could audition for. The flyer will tell you the location, the time, what type of model call it is, height requirement. Yes, they do say that, and size. See the flyer, or someone tells you, and you do exactly what it says on the flyer to do. So, and that could be register, that could be, sending your email, sending your phone number, whatever it says on the flyer, you go ahead and do that right away. Once I do that, then I take that date that I see, mark it on my calendar so I will not forget. So the day of, or only because I've been doing this for a while now, or sometimes the day before, I'll go ahead and prepare my model bag. And in a model bag, you should always have the same stuff all the time, especially for model calls. Specific stuff that you should have, and then along with some other things. So one would be your portfolio. A lot of times the panel or the model call, whatever, they ask for a portfolio. So sometimes it'll tell you. But if they don't, I would still put it in anyway. I always have it. But the main thing, comp card. And I'm going to actually show you a comp card that I had, and then I'll post it at the end so you can also see it. This was my old one. I had this one a long time ago. It has some pictures and my stats, everything down there, my stats on the top or whatever. This is my new one, which I really like this one. Now it's smaller. They still do have some of the pictures and some of the stats that are on this on the stat card. On the comp card. Some of the casting calls or model calls ask for stat sheets, and this is one of the ones I get from DC Fashion Week, where once you're selected, these are the things they add. This is an old picture, so I don't have these on here at all. They will hang this whole thing on your garments or whatever you're wearing. The designers use these. So, and this is a stat card where it has all your information down here, your cards, your pictures, and that works there. In your model bag, you want to make sure you have your portfolio, your comp card, your stat sheet, some lip balm or some lip gloss, whatever it is you wear. And of course, your shoes, because that's the main thing that you need are your shoes to walk this runway. And you want to make sure that you have the proper shoes. A lot of times they'll tell you no less than 4 inches. And so I actually wanted to show you, these were the ones that I wore the other day. And I actually brought a ruler, I can't even think, a ruler. And I wanted to show you that these have at least 5 inches. So I'm putting it up there, right where it belongs, all the way to here. And that's where the heel is stopping. So a little over 5 inches from where, right there to there. And you can see. So they'll tell you, make sure you have your shoes. Along with, along in your model bag, you can have extra stuff. Like I always bring a snack. So my go-to snacks are like almonds or cashews, some kind of protein. Of course, a big thing of water. And if you want more, you can bring an apple or whatever. Some people have a whole meal. I can't have a meal. When I'm excited, I cannot have meals, but you have your snack. And books, magazines, anything that's going to occupy your time, because the only thing you're going to do is once you check in or whatever, you're going to be sitting for a while. So I bring my phone charger, What else? Oh, those who are young kids, homework. They bring homework. I've seen them do that. I said the moisturizing and lip stuff. What else? Oh, pad and pencil. If you are into writing stuff, you can write everything down afterwards, or if they're telling you whatever they're telling you, and or your phone, you can jot stuff down in your phone. I'm going to say this, but I don't, well, I did do it once. Flats. I used to bring my slides, but now what I've been doing is wearing my flats if it's a summer or spring model call. And in the winter, I'll wear boots. I'll have my like sneakers on, whatever it is. I'll wear that stuff and then I'll have my heels in my bag. A lot of times because you're going to be on your feet all day and you don't want to have shoes, these 5-inch heels on throughout the whole time. If they're comfortable for you and that's what you wear, then go right ahead. But I still recommend a pair of flats. If you do that, put them in your bag. And because, I mean, you do hear sometimes go prepared, like go with your stuff on, go with your heels on, show up and you're all glamorous. Yeah, you can do that. And I have done that a couple of times. But a lot of times when you know you're going to be there all day or it's one of these model calls, you want to preserve your feet. You want to preserve your calves. You just want to preserve your body. Because you're going to be in these heels all day and you're going to have more than enough time to be standing in them for hours once you start modeling. So the day of, I always head out early to make sure I get there on time or the time that they designate. And I check in and they want you to sign in. A lot of times you have to bring ID. So make sure you have that. And make sure you have your full name. Another thing, DC Fashion Week, they want your full name, not your nickname, not your play name, not your, whatever. Because when we go to the French Embassy has to have exactly who you are, whatever's on your ID, because that's the only way they're going to let you in. And these are a lot of places that do that because they want to make sure the right person is there, and especially on the embassy premises or any of those premises that they are looking for ID. One time I went to an agency and I had to check in at the bottom floor, which is the entrance. They asked for my ID. So be sure to have that. So once you check in and sign in, they'll give you a number and you go and wait. When I first started going to these model calls, I didn't know anyone. So I would sit by myself. And because I was sitting there by myself a lot, I would have to talk to myself. I would say, Khalida, you got this. I mean, because you're panning across. And sometimes there are hundreds. At one time there were 300 people that showed up. So there's sometimes you get 50, 100 or whatever. That I was panning across and I'm like, wow, look at all these people. I was saying positive thoughts in my mind and don't worry, this is for you. If it's not, it's okay. And just positive talk all the time. And I would just look up and see where I'll be walking and just try to smile at people and, nod or whatever. But now, since I've been doing this for a while, and locally especially, I know a lot of them. We've modeled together, we follow each other on our social media pages. So that's the time you can talk. If you know people or if you just want to network and that's just you can do that as well. But we'll be sitting there waiting for a while. Then the audition will begin. They'll start calling numbers. Either they'll call a group of numbers or sometimes they'll just call maybe your number or whatever it is if it's not too many. They'll call. Some start to talk to you, get to know you, want to have a conversation first or whatever. And maybe at this point, this is when they'll ask for your comp card or they'll ask for your portfolio. So whatever it is, they may. Others, they're just going to call your numbers and you get on the stage and you start walking this runway and walk back or whatever. So that's the audition. That's it. Sometimes they will not talk to you and they'll just give the entire room, whoever's there, the audition directions. And you better know what they're talking about. Understand if you have any questions, you better raise your hand, especially after they even ask any questions. Sometimes once they finish the first group or if it's a small group, then they'll finish everybody, and they'll they'll post the numbers. If I called your number, that means those numbers have gotten in. And other times they'll just wait to the end and post all the numbers. Sometimes you'll get the brash version, which is really hard. They may have given you directions, whatever it was, and now you get ready to get up there. You're walking down. Thank you, that's enough, goodbye, have a good day. You're done. That is it. They will cut your walk short, may say thank you. You can exit over there. There may be a couple of walks. The very first time I've done the DC Fashion Week, I actually was not called. Because I walked, but he did not call my number. And one of the designers went up front and said, I want number 25. I think I was number 25. I want number 25. And so right before then, he didn't call my number. Then before he told everybody they could leave, he said, I need to see, I think it was 33 also. I need to see number 25 and 33. I need to see you guys walk again. When I walked again, then he said, okay, now after the other person walked again, then they had a, deliberation. They got together and they, talked about it or whatever. It was a panel. It had to be a panel of 4 or 5. And then they said, we're going to call out these numbers, and these are the numbers you can go over and get your pictures taken. You are in. And then that's when I got in. So if a designer likes your walk and likes what you have, you may be able to get in. If the designer doesn't like you and the panel doesn't like you, then you're not in and you're just done for that time. I hope this was helpful to those of you who did not know and were asking about model calls or casting calls. If you have any other questions or any other comments, please feel free to text me and let me know. You can, any of my social media pages, just let me know, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can through my experience or my journey. Hope it was helpful.